Okay. So, there's several questions from my last video. So, I'm going to be a little bit... Someone asked like, how do you become a tattoo apprentice? Appreciate some ideas of how to. Someone said, there's Peter. Okay, anyways. And then someone asked, what's my setup right now? Another person asked that, am I willing to get tattoos from other apprentices for practice? Stuff like that. Okay. It's a lot of questions. I didn't realize I was going to get that many questions, to be honest. How I got the Apprentice. I'll start there. Like, I'll make that the starting, how I got it. I kind of went into it, like, I was emailing shops, and being like, hey, you taking apprentices? And they're like, no. And I was depressed for a little bit. I went to the interview for the one that I'm in now, which was technically the only interview I went in, and I got it. Though I was also, like, 100% convinced I didn't get it, or they weren't interested, because Peter went to the, just ignore him. Peter would tell me, no, babe, you gotta give it time, it's gonna happen. I'm like, no, they hated me, they hated everything about me. So this was my portfolio that I brought. I will say, I am not very proud to say this, but a lot of the drawings were things that I was just like, I need to fill it now. I need to do art right now. And so this is like a little bit, I've taken out the pages of some of it. So here's some that I did. I forgot about this one. That's what the one I was looking for. Peter wants to get this one done. So a lot of this, because I tattooed oranges, because I told him that I got an Amazon tattoo machine, because you gotta be open about it. There's more stuff right here. More art. I had more art. It's just anime girls, honestly, and like some few things, and then I had like one traditional art in there, and that was it. I panicked because my portfolio was essentially fucking empty, and I was not confident about it. I was supposed to fill all those pages to have something to show, and I didn't, because I do art, but not like that. There's like colorist stuff that I do for like Let's Play, and then there's stuff like illustrations, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking like the different kind of variations you can do. But I got the apprenticeship. They sent me an email being like, oh, come in, we want to check your vibe, if you vibe with everyone. So I was panicked. I went in, and they had me sitting at the reception area, because again, I think I've mentioned it's half a salon and half the tattoo stuff. And then they had me sit at the tattoo shop a little bit, and they were telling me a little bit about, like, they were already teaching me, and I was like, oh. And I keep saying and, but I can't talk differently, I'm so sorry. And they told me which station would be mine. Like, they are just like, here's your station. And I'm like, this is just supposed to be how you vibe check me. I didn't know I got it, because technically I didn't have it yet, but it was heavily implied that I did, because they're like, this is your station. You can take off the stickers. That's the old apprentice that didn't become a tattoo artist, or he did. I don't remember the story. And there you go. And I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. Holy shit. But yes, here is some things I will say about tips about apprenticeships. They are not paid. Do not expect to get paid a single penny while you're working for them. And they will sometimes work you to the bone, and you will sometimes do bathroom duty, which means you just clean the bathroom the whole day. Or like, that's like one of the things you need to do that day. Like, you'll have bathroom duty for cleaning that week or whatever. And that's just being an apprentice. And sometimes it's just watching, and sometimes you have to ask the teacher or your mentor, being like, teach me this, or what is this? I have questions. What is this? And he'll tell you, or they'll tell you. And that's kind of how you learn. You gotta do a lot of like, sure, you're being taught by a mentor, but you also have to invest in like learning outside, which, like, when I say outside, I mean like YouTube videos, like watching people just tattoo. And another way is just getting tattooed and watching them tattoo you. Which brings up another thing. My mentor was very open in the fact that he's just like, you need to get fit, like physically, top fit, because when you're tattooing someone, you're hunched over and we don't want you in pain because you're going to be there for a couple of hours. Which, now that I think about it, because I did the tattoos, I'm going to show you guys the tattoos that I did. Those took a ranging between an hour and a half to 2 hours of me just crouched over on this person. So I totally understand what he meant, that you need to start working up your arm strength and your back strength because you are just hunched over, which isn't the greatest thing. But yeah, the second thing is someone asked if I had tattoos beforehand, before my apprenticeship. I did not. I had only the one that I did via my Amazon tattoo machine. And then I did one on Peter. It's on his finger. It's a heart from Legend of Zelda. Heart container. There you go. And that was it. I did not have anything. So basically, my leg tattoo didn't really count of me being tattooed. So he's like, you need to get tattooed. Well, you need to go out, get tattooed. Or I started to think no one is going to trust you to do their tattoos unless you're tattooed. And it took me a while to understand why that is. But when I went to get tattooed by other people, seeing them have tattoos kind of makes you a little bit more confident of their tattoo ability. Even though those tattoos are not done by them, you kind of, I don't know, it's just this weird...
You feel like you trust them.
Yeah, you see? You feel like you trust them more. I don't know if you can hear him, but that's what he said. So, someone asked if I'd be willing to get tattooed by other apprentices. Of course I do. This one, which is my Suicune, is done by the Apprentice in Hideaway Tattoos in San Diego. He was amazing. And so that was his work, the Suicune. I can't even show it. There you go. The other tattoo artist that I work with, her name is Veronica. There we go. That's the one that she did. And then the one that I have on my arm, I'm wearing a sweater, I'm not taking that off. That was done by Becky over at Diego Tattoos in San Diego. So, obviously, they range in different prices. I think the most expensive one is obviously the arm tattoo. I have a better leg tattoo now that I did myself. My mentor, I was like, can I tattoo myself? He's like, yeah, I guess. And then I started, and he's like, you chose the worst spot that you're going to have to, like, bend in a weird way to get to it. And as I was finishing it, because he left, and I was like, oh, thank you for leaving me. And I was like, because I get so anxious when he's not there and I'm tattooing myself. Anyway, then he left, and I was like, oh, and then I was so tired. I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to stop. Halfway done with my tattoo, because I was doing, like, the lines and then the shading. I was just like, I'm tired. Because believe it or not, getting tattooed is very tiring, which is why your tattoo artist will always tell you to get a good night's sleep and to eat a good meal before you get tattooed, because it is draining mentally, physically, and sometimes emotionally. I've seen some people cry. So yes, I had 2 clients today. Not today. I wish it was today. No, I had 2 clients last week. They were a Wendy from Don't Starve and Anya from... Yeah, no, but that's not what I'm from. Sorry, X Family. I just thought about what I was going to say. These were learning experiences for me. And the one thing that I regretted the most when doing their tattoos was the after. Because with the Anya tattoo, I forgot to take photos of it before I put the bandage on. I was so upset with myself because I do have photos, but it's with the bandage on. And I'm so upset. The second one, I did better. I just wish I went a little bit deeper with a different needle. Because, yeah, I wanted the lines a little bit more, like, darker, deeper. But, you know, it's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. Like, I have Peter coming up to get tattooed by me. And then I have my sister as well getting tattooed by me. He's getting Junkrat's logo on his neck, right here behind his ear. And my sister is getting the treat people with kindness on her arm. That's like a Harry Styles quote. And yeah, that's happening there. I will say one thing, and this is something that my tattoo artist Becky had said in her Instagram stories, is when you go out to get a tattoo apprenticeship, don't sell yourself short as well, thinking that you're never going to be accepted somewhere. Because you also don't want to be accepted somewhere that's going to treat you like shit, because there is. Especially if you're a female, or... No, because I've seen some other horror stories, but... It's... Right now, there is still this huge... like... Females in the tattoo industry, a lot of them, like, apprenticeships are frowned upon. And they get treated like shit. I mean, like, sometimes tattoo apprentices, they get treated like shit anyways, but, like, it's worse if you're a female. So, like, I was always scared that that was gonna be happening. But it's not. It's actually pretty nice, because, like, it's a salon. All females, and then, like, the only male is my teacher. It's funny, because he's, like, he does realism, and then his his old apprentice, which is now a tattoo artist, and then his now apprentice, it's just cutesy shit. It's just like kawaii shit. I don't know. I find that to be the funniest thing for me. But being in a tattoo apprenticeship, I was in an emotional roller coaster. I think I still am. It is not for because sometimes this is difficult, because sometimes you have to quit your other job, so just 100% dedicate yourself to the tattoo apprenticeship, because sometimes some tattoo places don't think you're motivated or like really dedicated to the craft unless it's the only thing you're doing. There's a lot of new apprenticeships that I've seen on social media that I follow that they were artists, like digital, and they moved to tattoos, and a lot of them had to just save for like a long time before even doing their apprenticeship so they could like dedicate it completely to it. It's not easy. I had a job during my apprenticeship, and it was so hard on me to the point where I had to sit down, me and Peter, and he was basically like, I'll work while you do that. Like, I'll support our family. But you need to dedicate yourself to the tattoo apprenticeship. And it was not an easy thing. Especially since we just got a new dog. We were planning on moving. We have our house now. It's like a lot. Yeah, it's not easy. But, yeah, no, it also helps to have a supportive team behind you. And by team, I mean family, friends, or anything. Because sometimes I felt so self-conscious about my art during the apprenticeship. I mean, I'm still an apprentice, but like in the beginning, I wanted to cry every time I went home. I didn't feel like I belonged because for the most part, whether they work you or sometimes you don't learn anything that day and you're just there working, or sometimes it's just like, okay, just draw, and all you're doing is drawing, and there's a reason behind it. I learned later what that reason was, like the drawing every day. It makes sense now. But you start questioning if this was the right decision for you, because you kind of feel like it's college, like you come into the expectation that you're going to be learning every day. And no, because it is a lot of work for your mentor to even take the time to teach you, because he has clients as well. But anyways, so these were my sketchbooks in the beginning of my apprenticeship. They're not filled at all. That's, I don't realize my mentor realized he took in an ADHD apprentice, because for the life of me, I cannot stick to one thing. And he'll give me an assignment and I kind of do it, but then I jump to another assignment that he gave me another day. I feel so bad. Look at Peter's foot. I feel bad because he'll be like, do this. And I'll be like, but no. How about I do this other thing, though, that you asked me to do 2 weeks ago? Yeah. Maybe it'll be better for other people who don't have ADHD. But yeah, so this I had like, yeah, so these were my 2 sketchbooks. So I would take small notes that he would tell me, but he would give me an assignment, well, draw flowers, and I would draw this. And he would like tell me about composition. A big thing about tattoos is like you can draw really good, but unless you have good composition, like, yeah. So you see, starts drawing like every day, just drawing, taking notes that I did myself. Like I would ask him a question, and there was this one. I did not realize I had a freaking Heather's tattoo sketched out. The open the door, please. I forgot about it. Look at that. Look at me going back to my sketches. Then there's this one. So they'll tell you to draw every day. Draw every day. Find time to draw. And you don't really realize why am I drawing so much? Why are they making you draw so much? It's because sometimes you're gonna just have to draw. You have to get better somehow, and practice makes perfect. So you kind of get slowly better with composition, and you slowly realize that there is method to certain madness, and sometimes you have shit days. This was my shittiest day of drawing. And there's some pages that I was so bad, I ripped them out. And then I just did unknown Pokemon, and it says ass and boob. I think that's what it says. No, it says bitch, but without the H. But I just wrote ass. What? Sometimes, oh, I put nudes. It says nudes in Pokemon Unknown. Does anyone get that tattoo? I would totally do a nudes like tattoo that says nudes, but it's for noodles, like actual noodles, because those are delicious. And then sometimes you have like a tattoo that's inspired by Dobby. And you see, there's other things that I absolutely don't want to draw, but you do it because, see, there's more Pokemon stuff, because you just have to practice. I have so much. I have so much stuff that will never be on anyone's body, but it's to practice drawing stuff, getting some kind of art theme going, or your style going, because my mentor told me, I don't want you to just be tracing shit, like tracing letters and shit like that. You'll learn that along the way. Like, that's not what I'm here to teach you. I'm trying to take your art style and like expand on it. I'm not gonna have you tracing letters. I'm not gonna have you tracing lines. Work on your style, work with that, and get better with that. Like, and yeah, because this is like I had like an assignment he gave me the first day at Apprentice, and it was a Junkrat thing. Well, he gave me a prompt, and I ended up making a Junkrat themed. But you see, then I drew strawberries. You got an apple for poison apple. And he would get picky about the pens I used, because you have to be like a specific pen. And I just kept drawing, and yeah. And then he's like, yeah, because like they're telling me you need your traditional thing, you need to use traditional art. And then I was like, that's cool, but I have an iPad. They weren't too happy about the iPad, even though like people end up using it. They still wanted me to do traditional for the longest time, and then I kind of didn't anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I had like a really weird apprenticeship. Now that I think about it and I say it out loud, they let me get away with a lot of shit. Kind of feel bad now. So yeah, a post. I'm not gonna remember to post the tattoos on the video, but I'll try my best. Peter, remind me.
I will try to.
He will try, but he also has ADHD. There's no guarantees here. Yeah. It's funny because there's someone at work, she was like asking me what our signs were. And I was like, oh, we're Geminis. And my kids are Pisces. And then she's like, how the fuck does your family function? Holy fuck. Like, how? And I'm like, I don't, one day at a time. Yeah, just one day at a time. It's great. I like my work. No complaints. I went to karaoke for someone's birthday, and they were gonna go to Korean barbecue, but then I had to take my kids to the dentist, and then they were gonna go do dodgeball, but I also have to take care of my grandma sometimes, and I take her to the doctor, and it's always the days that we're off, and I'm like, that's the only time I have to take her. The other days I'm dedicated to you guys. I do get exhausted though. There is times where I'm mentally, physically exhausted, and I cry to Peter, because then I'm just like questioning everything. I'm like, did I make the right choice? And then he's just like, shh. Yeah. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. What's my setup now? Someone asked. For my shop, I do not have it right now. I cannot show you. I mean, there's photos of it, but I cannot physically show you. I haven't recorded it. I took photos of it, but I haven't recorded it. If you're talking about here, where's the bed? You can kind of see some of the anime stuff over here. This is Todoroki. There's another Todoroki. There's an All Might over here, and there's a Deku over here, and this one is another All Might, but like the tiny one. This is all Genshin stuff. If you see that red thing, that's still Luke in his KFC outfit, because yes. Then we have Mitsuri right here, and then there's Mercy's right here. There's like more. Let's see if I can kind of turn it. And you see my microphone. There's more here, and there's more up there. But yeah, like you're not gonna... And there's our closet. Computer here. He has his computer. It's a long desk. So Peter's on my right side, and I'm here, and the printer's over here, and this is a setup. It's not complete, you know, because we only have one income, technically, so it's like, what's more important, having a nice setup or paying the house rent? And, you know, the answer to that question is pretty obvious. Do we want a nice setup and not have a home, or have a home and have an okay setup? Yeah, if we didn't have a home, we wouldn't have a setup. But now look at this. I have a little he's not on. I have a little thing, and he's cute. Like, look at that. That's adorable. He glows. He makes me feel happy when I have depression.
Are you depressed when you look at him?
Kind of, because he's kind of dusty. But he goes over here.
Just because he's a little dirty.
He's a little dirty. He's a little dirty. Yeah, because it reminds me of the fact that we have to clean the house tomorrow. That makes me sad. Anyways.
That too.
Oh, but... Yeah, this video is about to be like 30 minutes of me rambling about depression. I've been very open about my mental health in general, and most, yeah, not only just mental health, also my health, because someone will try to talk to me on my left ear, and I'm like, I'm totally cannot hear well here. Yes. And then sometimes, like, I tell my work, I'm like, my partner's in the hospital again. And they're like, what? Is he okay? I'm like, yeah, it's his diabetes. It's a monthly.
When did that happen? That was what? Like...
That was last month. He went into the hospital, the emergency room, because his sugars were high.
And my leg was messed up.
And his leg was messed up. And I was like, yeah, it's his... He went to the hospital again, because he had gone to the hospital the month before. And they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's his monthly emergency room ritual. And they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's fine.
Your work must hate me.
My work, I don't know what they think about me. Because, like... Because I'm still... Okay, remember you guys, I went to surgery. I still deal with the side effects of that surgery every day. And it makes me so sad. I won't go into detail about it, but I'm tearing up to it. So sometimes I can't go to work because of the pain. And I'm like, I can't go in because of the pain. And then other days it's just like, I can't go in because my kids are sick. Or my kids, I gotta go pick them up. Or my husband's in the hospital. My partner is in the hospital. I can't. And they're just like, what the fuck's with this family? Sorry, I can't go to work because my dog threw up and then ate its vomit. And now I should not have this apprenticeship. I swear to God.
A dog threw up and ate its vomit. That's the one you chose as an example.
Sorry, it happened though. It's one of.
Happen.
So, apprenticeships. I don't think I have a traditional one. So, you know what though? Maybe you find like a really cool place that is just like mine. Could be lucky. But don't let them abuse you. I've seen people in apprenticeships for 5 years or more without getting paid anything. Don't do that. Like, they have to want to teach you too. You can't... If you try to force an artist to teach you, it ain't gonna work. Also, like, now I'm taking clients and they're just like, you will get paid for when you tattoo. And they tell you, like, what your commission, this and that. And I was like, okay. So there's some money coming in. Not a lot, because again, I only had 2 clients. Woo! But I had 3 clients coming. Oh my god, I forgot to say. So I got 3 new clients. Well, it's not new. 2 of them is Peter and my sister, but I have 1 client coming in, and they're coming in on the 1st, and it's gonna be for a Genshin tattoo. I'm so excited. I love Genshin so much. Like, I literally have Zhongli tattooed on my arm, but that's just because of spite. I love Zhongli, but out of spite, because of how expensive he was to get. Peter can attest to that. They're getting Ito! So I'm excited. Because they're like either gonna get the constellation or the buckle. So I'm hoping. I gotta work on design. I have another client that I might have, but I need to draw cutesy Pokemon for that. And I haven't. Because art block is still a thing for tattoo artists. And the ADHD doesn't help. Yeah, anyways. Things are okay. Slowly. I mean, I still have breakdowns every day. That's not gonna change. It's just dealing with it better. And then, like, I want to get back to streaming and doing stuff, but it's so much happening. And I cannot just start without certain things. Because Peter has his VTuber. He redesigned it. I'm so excited for it. And there's a person who's doing VTuber commissions, and I'm going to send him a message. But I can't send him a message until I get paid. And I don't get paid until I get more clients. Anyways, so I want to get him a VTuber. Because we're going to do twin streams, maybe. At the same time, or separate, or whatever. But I want him to have a VTuber because when I'm working on Saturdays, he is here with the kids, and I want him to do something that would bring him joy. And then we do something together on like Sundays or at night when the kids are sleeping. But yeah, so I'm happy about that. Yeah. Anyways. Do you have any more questions about the tattoo apprenticeships? Like, I can't really, like, I don't have real tips. Do you know of any tips I could give?
Make sure you have someone who has a stable income.
Yeah, like I said, you have to have a supportive. Yeah, that's.
Actually invested in sure something you actually want to do.
Oh yeah, no, that is. Yeah, no, that is a big thing. You have to actually really, really want to be a tattoo artist. Not just for like aesthetic reasons, like, oh, this would be really cool to do. Because it is emotionally draining. I don't know how many times I've cried.
Too many to count at this point.
I've cried a lot.
Yeah. You have gone through the ringer and back, so.
It's not
just all fun and games. It's not something that looks cool. It's not something that's like, oh, look at this. It's so fun. Look at what I'm doing. I have such a cool life. No, it is a living hell that you will work through every single day, and you have to make sure that you are dedicated to it and you really want to do it, or else you will give up on it. You have tried to give up on it multiple times, Millie, and I have been the one telling you, do not. You work too damn hard to get this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's you have to make sure that you want it.
Because you will be going through the ringer. I've wanted to quit a lot of times because it is emotionally draining. And for someone like me who's already gone through the ringer emotionally, whether it was because of past traumas, whether it's because of the whole... Dude, I got such PTSD from Mystic Messenger. I have to talk to my therapist about this. If you're not dedicated, like you... Yeah, I've cried several times. Because I just not... Yeah, it's not great sometimes. It's not all like I'm making it out to be some cool thing. No, it's fucking draining. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, and sometimes I wish I could just make up an excuse to not go in. But I have to push through that. Cause for a long time, like, okay, this is not, I don't even know if I should use this as an example. Everyone gets excited when they get paid. I would too. I get so excited when I get my paycheck, whether it's from Let's Play, whether it's from Let's Play, because I realize that's my only income. Sometimes YouTube. Oh, I got a YouTube check once. It took like 2 years to get like So for YouTube, you have to make a minimum of $100 and they'll send you money. And it took like 2.5 years to finally meet the $100 threshold, and I was so happy. I was like, I have gas. Gas is very expensive, FYI.
God, it's like $6 a gallon.
Yeah, it's $6 a gallon, and I have a Honda Civic. Because I decided a good idea was to get a new car. No, it's used. During the pandemic, I needed to. My car died. It just fucking died on me. So it wasn't really a choice. I just had to. And, yeah. We drove all the way to, like, Buena Park to pick it up. Very happy with it, though. It is very reliable. It's just right now, he needs a little bit of a... He's a little expensive, and he needs a little bit of a TLC right now because he needs a new battery, he needs a transmission liquid thing, and so many things. And it's just like, well, at least I'm taking clients. You know, it's something. I'm not as depressed because before everyone would be excited for getting their paychecks, and they're like, yeah, you're getting their paychecks, and I'm like, I don't have a paycheck. And they'd be like, oh, how much do you make, Melly? Money? What is that? Because a lot of people learned that apprenticeships aren't paid. They thought I was getting paid, and I was like, to learn? Excuse you. My pay is my learning. Excuse you. But it kind of, like, eats at you a little bit. And it's not like anyone's fault. It's just like words carry a lot of weight, whether you mean to or not. So even though some people are like, oh, you don't get paid, it eats at you. Because it's like, yeah, you don't get paid. And you have to depend on your family or your spouse or something for money. And you start going through a spiral of like, I'm not good because I have to depend on people for money. And it's not great mentally. That is what I'm dealing with right now. Because sometimes, like, it's so mentally draining. I would go into it, but everyone around me is making money. They're not mentally well while making this money, but they're making money. And having to depend on people, but also having them believing you, so they're totally okay for you, like with you depending on them, but like mentally you're just like, I just can't, but I need to, but I know you understand, but I hate myself. It's a spiral, and I'm smiling now, but I'm dying inside. And when they told me I could take clients, it was a lot. Mentally, I was so happy. But then the reality set in of like, you rush and you want to be a tattoo artist and you are just like, I want to learn. That when it's finally time to take clients, you realize and you start going through a spiral of like, Why am I not getting messages? Why am I not getting booked? Why is my art not good enough? And that's like a whole different thing because that's what I'm dealing with right now. But yeah. So really think if you want to do this. Really think about it. I'm not saying don't do it. I think anyone should do whatever they want. If you want to be a tattoo artist, do it. But for me, telling you that if you really want this, I believe in you. Anyways, that's what's supposed to be about tattoos. I might have to fucking cut it where I stop talking about tattoos.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, bye guys. Johnny. I need to edit this shit because I rambled. And he helped.
I'm sorry, I encouraged it.
I'm gonna go die in a hole now. Bye! I mean, not really. But there's times. I'm kidding. Don't.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm not. Anyways, I'm gonna go play Genshin. Sorry, bye.